to the point. So today we're going to be chatting about prospecting 101 in person and social media reach outs. Now, this applies no matter how much experience you have in the business. So personally, I can say like at the end of this month, I think on the 30th, I'm going to be celebrating 2 years in this business, which is absolutely insane when I think about it. But a huge part of recruitment is mindset and reach outs, right? When I first joined the business is a very different approach from how I do my business now, which is like crazy, but we have to adapt with the times, right? So if you guys have been here for a while, I know 2 years is crazy, throw it in the chat how long you've been in the business. Maybe you're new, maybe you just joined, maybe you're a few months in. Let me know. But today we're going to be talking about why this is important for your business, what you need to change in your mindset, and how you can start implementing this in your business, right? So I want to ask you guys another question. How do you guys feel about recruiting? Yeah, 3 years in July, that's insane, because I still remember when you signed up like it was yesterday. 1 year and 10 months, okay. So we have some people who do have experience, but for those of you guys who are on here, let me know how you feel about recruiting, because for me, I can tell you, like, even probably up until a year ago, I kind of felt like anxiety. Like I remember going to recruit or doing sponsoring, right? Like getting myself ready, like you guys kind of like pump yourself up. And I had so much anxiety. I would shake. We would do lives, and like I wouldn't necessarily break out in hives, but like I would look like I had a heat rash. Like I would get really red and stuff. Like I would just like itch all over. And like the way that I describe it is the ick, right? So if you guys feel that ick, or plus so nervous, yeah, same, literally same. So if you guys have ever felt that ick, then you guys know exactly what I mean. I want you guys to do your homework on the industry, and not only like the network marketing industry, but the company. Because for me, I couldn't, how do I say this? Like I couldn't offer something until I realized what I had to offer, right? So like I feel like the best way to describe this is like when you go to be in a relationship with somebody, right? Or like if you're dating, sometimes people don't know what they have until it's gone, because some people don't realize how amazing they are, right? So for example, like let's say you're like you break up with somebody, right? You always say, oh, they just didn't know what they had when they had it, right? Like I feel like that's like the go-to line to everybody. I want to relate that to network marketing, is that a lot of people just don't realize what they have with this industry and this opportunity, because they have a lot of misconceptions about it. So once I started to read up on who Monty was, obviously what the products do, because my hair, like you guys, I did not fall in love with skincare. I did not fall in love with wellness because it wasn't there. I was actually a VIP client. If you guys didn't know, I was Melanie's VIP client for like 8 months. She was trying to get me to do the business. And I was like, no, I don't want anything to do with that. And I fell in love with the product so much that I became a market partner. And here we are like almost 2 years later. But when you know what you have with the business opportunity, like I always, if you guys have been on any of my lives with Melanie, I'm always like, I wanted to kill her because I didn't know what the Money $1 Million Club was until when we had Monations in September 2020. And when I found out, I was like, you can become a millionaire with this business. Like Melanie laughs, but I was over here like, first of all, I knew I wouldn't have believed that. I always tell her, because like I saw the car, I saw the trips, and it wasn't until I saw her have it that I was like, okay, this is possible for me, because she's somebody I know, right? If you would have showed me any other people, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. Like the people at the top, like all those objections that we hear every day. But it's so funny, because once I started to learn about the industry and everything that was possible, the statistics, not only like with our company alone, you guys, if you don't know, like Money has literally been around for 7 years. We're such a baby company. This is a ground level opportunity. And the amount of growth that we've had, we're in 8 countries. We've launched into 3 different markets. We have hair care, skincare, wellness. Like we have over 70 millionaires in less than 7 years. Like that's insane to me. Like the amount of growth and room for success here. And then when you look at the industry as a whole, which is still a pretty young industry, like network marketing has only been around for a few decades, it's crazy to me. Like, it's crazy that more people don't want to do this, but it's just because they don't know what's out there for them. They don't realize they have options. All we've been programmed to do. You go to school, you graduate, you get your degree, and then you go find an office job. You go find a 9 to 5, and that's your life, right? You get into debt. You have a wedding. You do all this stuff. You get your loans, and then you work to pay your life. But that's not we're living here, especially if you've been here. My computer is now registering my AirPods. I don't even have them in. I don't know what's going on. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about, do you believe in the offer? Do you believe in what you have to offer, right? So your prospects are never going to believe what you have unless they know you believe it too, right? So I want you guys to take the shame out of the equation. And this is not something that's going to happen overnight. So do not fear. This is like something that I feel like I even still work on to this day. But I want you guys to think about what limiting beliefs that you have surrounding recruiting. And for those of you guys who don't know what a limiting belief is, a limiting belief is something that's holding you back, right? So for example, maybe you think you have to be SED. Maybe you think that you have to have the Cadillac to recruit somebody. That's a limiting belief. Maybe you think that you're antisocial, or that you're, how do I say this? Like, that you're not a sociable person, so that you're unable to recruit. That's a limiting belief surrounding recruitment. So if you have any of those, then I want you guys to acknowledge them, but get rid of them, right? So this is a skill that we have to master on and offline in our profession, right? Maybe you're here, maybe you're new, maybe you're, there's they call them three categories, right? There's the poser. So it's like the person who thinks like you're going to get away with being successful in this industry by only having 3 to 4 people and working off like the fruits of their labor, right? There is the amateur, which is maybe you don't necessarily have all of the skills, right? You're just kind of like, how do I say this? Like, you're like on the treadmill running to keep up with everything, right? And then there's the professional. So a lot of us might be in this amateur stage trying to be and going to be professionals, right? Maybe you're not necessarily in that state of professional. And if you guys want to think about professionals, think about people like Eric Worre, think about people like Stormy Wellington, Jesse Lee, like Fraser Books. There are all these really popular network marketers that they have systems. They literally move their businesses systematically and are able to scale tenfold, right? So we're going to master this skill on and offline today. So for example, this can translate, like, let's say you start to build your potentials list, whatever you want to call it, your hundreds list, your prospect list offline, but that can translate to online, right? This is like, think of a sales funnel. So like this, it's going to be a funnel of people that we bring into our business. And whenever you're going out, maybe you go out for coffee, maybe we just got off a call in Spanish and they made me laugh so much. Like, maybe you go out to the club, whatever you're doing, you need to meet your prospects where they're at. And this is such a common thing. Like, if you're somebody who goes out, meeting people in the, like, I think almost all of us are women here. All of us are women on this call. Meeting people in the bathroom, I think, is one of, like, you meet a girl when you're out, you meet a girl in the bathroom, and they become your best friend, right? Take it to the next level. Ask them for for their contact info so you guys can further connect. However you do that, at the gym, Beverly was saying at the grocery store, and it's things you never think about. No matter where you go, there is a way to make that person a prospect into your network. So I'm going to give you guys 3 steps, which I think in almost every call, every training I've heard, this is like the 3-step method to make it nice and succinct for you. One is going to be to compliment them, pay them a genuine compliment, their appearance, their energy. Step 2 is to relate to them. And step 3 is to get their social media. And a great point that was made, because I've heard some people say, oh, get their number, right? A great point of getting their social media is that you get to see who the person is. And not only that, they get to see you, right? If you get somebody's number, unless it's on WhatsApp, I know you can have like a status and stuff, but when you get somebody's number, there's not necessarily a personal connection being made unless it's through conversation. Remember, that's only as many times as the person is responding to you. When you get somebody's social media, they can put energy, they can put details, they can put history to your face and make that connection, which I think is absolutely amazing. Plus, it kind of plays in not only with like network marketing, but attraction marketing, right? And you not only get them, but you also get their network because you also get to see their followers, you get to see who they're tagging in their posts and their stories. So the more that you connect and interact with people, the more practice that you get. Remember that it doesn't happen overnight. They say you need like 10,000 hours before you're considered like an expert in something. So you need to put in the work. If you're somebody who feels like you're not good at creating conversations, and that's the basis of this business. I wouldn't even say like, yes, creating conversations leads to recruitment, but recruitment is the end result. Creating conversations is how you get more people constantly funneling in through your business, right? As customers and as business partners, because those are the two bases that literally grow your business, you guys. And guess what? It's not enough for you to get the market partner, and it's not enough for you to get the VIP. You need to be able to have their networks too. So asking for referrals, right? So I think I would just say social skills is a skill that you want to focus on, right? So when you're reaching out to people in your network, right? We say, how many people have heard this, right? You have your cold market, you have your hot market, you have your warm market, right? These three different markets, never start off working with your cold market. And I'm going to tell you guys, cold market is very different than cold messaging, right? Working with your cold market, because you can always make your cold market warm, but we don't cold message, right? If somebody tells you to cold message them, say no. I'm gonna work with my warm and my hot market. Why? Because these are people you already have a connection with. It doesn't matter if you went to high school with Sarah 10 years ago. It doesn't matter if you haven't spoken to Nicole in 5 years. These are people who already know you, right? Maybe you guys have fallen out of touch. It doesn't take away from the fact that you have a connection with them, right? If you're somebody who has that ick, has that anxiety, has the nervousness, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send on the next tips and strategies that I'm going to go over with you guys. I'm going to be sending out, I did like 3 different documents for like a conversation flow chart from other resources that I had. One was objections and one was follow-up. So these are 3 that you're going to keep on hand. They're just sample scripts, right? You're going to alter them to however you talk, but we're going to be going through some examples now, right? So for example, a reach out. If you guys do a reach out, how many words do you think that you're gonna do? Like, do you send a paragraph? You could throw this in the chat right now if you want. Do you send a paragraph? Do you send like 3 words? Do you send like 40 words when you talk to somebody? I want to see. When you send reach outs, do you send a voice note? Like, how do you do them? Anybody? If you guys are shy, that's okay.
Me. I'll talk.
Okay, let me know.
So I usually send a voice note, and I always go like, after obviously we made a connection, I'm like, have you ever thought about like doing what I do? And then most of them don't even know. Like most of them like don't even know why, like what I like. They have an idea, but they don't really know. And they have and they start to ask me questions about what I really do, and that's how I like go into it.
Okay, perfect. So thank you for sharing, Melanie. When I first started, do you guys want to know what I used to do? Oh my God, hey, blah, blah, blah. It's Jenna. I know we haven't spoken in so long. I hope everything is well. I started working for this vegan anti-aging hair care company, and we're the fastest growing hair care company in North America, and blah, 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 blah. No, like, literally, I don't even know what came out of Melanie's mouth right now. I'm sure it's a no. But you guys, it was word vomit after word vomit after word vomit for two reasons. One, because I was too afraid to Melanie and go to Melanie to ask for help because I thought I could figure it out on my own, right? I thought that this was like the easiest thing in the world, and I was gonna skyrocket to SED and right? I'm gonna show you how simple it is. Hey, Michelle, I know this might seem random, but has anybody ever talked to you about the business side of money? That's like less than 20 words. Hey, Michelle, has anybody ever talked to you about the business side of money? Hey, Michelle, I hope you don't think I'm crazy, but has anybody ever talked to you about the business side of money? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and send. Stop forcing yourself to create a relationship when you don't have to, because guess what? If you already have that connection, if you already know them because you met them 10 years ago, 5 years at somebody's party, you already have that connection with them. There's no reason to recreate it. So the length of the reach out is super important. You guys want to, and you guys, when I learned this, it was like a light bulb went off in my head, because sometimes we overcomplicate it so much and we feel like we need blah blah blah, we need all this information, like, hey, how are you, like, cut it out, get straight into the point. Like, I mean, I don't even know how to say this in English, but like they say it in Spanish, directo al grano, right? Like, short and sweet, keep it to the point. Why? Because they know that you're being fake when you're like, oh my God, how are the kids? It's been so long. Like, it's kind of like, okay, what do you want? Just spit it out already, right? You're not wasting their time. You know their time is valuable, and you know your time is valuable, right? So don't force creating a relationship that you don't have to. The connection is already there. Keep in mind the length of the reach out. Keep it a short reach out, right? It doesn't have to be like, anti-aging hair care company, blah, 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 we're in 8 countries, blah, blah. None of that's necessary. Most people will not respond, or what Melanie said, like, most people don't know what to say, because I've had people reach out to me and they're like, oh, I just wanted to know what you do for work. I'm so confused. Like, and I'm like, I literally post every day what I do, or I post reels. I have all this information, but okay, right? Some people just don't know because they don't see. Remember, our content for us, it's money, money, money. But our content is shown to a small percentage of followers, and it's not even shown to the same followers every single time. So for them, they may have no idea what you do, right? But that's the goal, is to constantly be sharing it so people are aware. So some people will not respond. That's to be expected, especially understand that in this industry, it's a numbers game, you guys. Most people aren't going to respond, or most people are going to leave the message unseen. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's you working with your numbers. The most important part of the reach out is the follow-up. Remember that the fortune is in the follow-ups, right? The fortune is not in the follow-up that one time and we leave it and we forget about the person. The fortune is in the follow-ups. So, for example, and this is not like, oh my God, hey, did you get my message? Oh my God, hey, can we talk about money? Oh my God, hey, blah, blah, blah. No, this is like, you continuously interacting them, and each of those touches that you have with them can be a follow-up, right? It can be you commenting on like a post that they have on their story. It could be you commenting on them sharing like that they were on vacation. Like those can each be follow-ups. Why? Because you want to associate money with your name to that person, and then in their head they're always going to be like it's happened to me where I reach out to somebody about something like, oh my God, like what is that coffee? Like, what did you get? And what was that coffee recipe? Right? And they're like, oh my God, I totally meant to get back to you. Can you send me another card so I can sign up as a VIP because I missed the last flash show? Like, I wasn't even talking about that, but okay. That's how it is. People start to associate with you with money. And that's how it works with the products and the business. When every time you follow up, they're like, oh my God, let me bring it up before she brings it up with me, when it's like, in reality, you weren't even bringing it up. You were just commenting on the story that they posted about their dog, commenting on the story they posted about their vacation of them at the beach, right? So for example, we're going to go through an example. If somebody doesn't respond to you, right? So let's say you message somebody like 3 different times over the course of a few months, and you saw it was on scene, or like over the course of a few weeks, however many touches you do with them, right? After a few times of no response, this is what I do with my prospects, because I personally get annoyed. I don't have patience when it comes to prospecting with people who like toy with you with the like, oh, I'll get back to you. I just want to learn a little bit more. I want to know the answer so I can move on and focus on other people. So the way that I do this is like, I say this. I'm like, okay, I get the point. It's not in my MO to bother you. Like, if I don't hear back from you, I'll put you on my D&D list. And D&D is just do not disturb. And let me tell you that I've used this. And when you say this, like, if you have somebody that you're like, okay, just for me and for you, like, you're missing out on time here, right? When you say that, that's always gotten me an answer. And the answer is either, yes, I'm ready to go, like, I'm tired of messing around, or the answer is, no, I'm not interested. Because people need to know the most important part of this process, and the one takeaway I want you to have from this call is that people need to know that they can say no to you. So for another way to offer, and I like this, I think it's Daniel G who shared this, and he says, you have to kind of offer the opportunity and take it away, right? So you can be like, oh, I have a project, right? And I was thinking about you to start my new team for this project, right? Maybe this is for you. I don't know, but blah blah blah, whatever, right? Like, how do I phrase this better? So I have a project that I want to start, maybe this could be for you. I'm not sure if it's a right fit. I'm not sure if you're up for it. I'm not sure if you're qualified, but I just want to throw it on the table there, right? When you say that, people kind of like, oh, why does she want to tell me about it, but maybe I'm not qualified? Like, maybe it's not for me. Like, no, I kind of want to know, because we all have that like that ego in us, right? That it's like, I can do anything. Like, what do you mean? I'm totally up for the challenge. I'm totally more than capable. And it creates that curiosity within the conversation that keeps them pulling back for more without them even realizing it, right? How many times has that happened for you where your friend tells you like, oh, I want to go somewhere, but maybe this place isn't for you. Like, maybe it's not your style. And you're like, no, tell me, like, what is it? I want to know. Like, or, hey, I know this guy, and is like, maybe he's not for you. Like, maybe you're too bougie for him. And you're like, no, like, let me know. Like, I'm just nosy and I want to know. So that's the same thing with prospecting. So if you need in terms of timing between touches, right? How much time do you guys allow to elapse? Do you guys let hours elapse? Hours, days elapse? Do you guys let weeks elapse? I hope you guys don't let months go by when you talk to prospects. But if you need a good way to measure, a good way to tell time when you're sending a follow-up to a customer is like, if you not a customer, to a prospect, if you saw them in person tomorrow, like let's say you went to the grocery store, you went to Starbucks, would you be embarrassed that you sent them 7 messages in 7 days, right? Would you be able to show your face, or would you like skip to the next aisle? That's a great way, especially if you're doing this like on social media mainly. That's a great way for you to tell, okay, should I send this message now? Should I follow up? So for example, if the situation is flipped, and let's say like you've sent 4 messages in like the last like 2 to 3 months, right? And you bump into them in Costco one day, right? And you sent them these 2 messages in 2 to 3 months, and they haven't responded. They're gonna feel pretty shitty when they see you. They're gonna be the one running in the other aisle to avoid you, because they're gonna be like, oh my God, she sent me these messages. She wanted to give me more information, and I completely ignored her. Like, what am I gonna say? I can't show my face, right? I'm gonna feel super stupid. That's how they're gonna feel. So kind of think about those 2 different situations, engage the time between each of those touches, right? You don't want it to go too long, because you still want to be at the forefront of their mind. But you shouldn't be, I mean, if somebody doesn't answer you, you shouldn't be like, oh my God, Becky, what's going on? Like, I mean, I'm totally acting here, but you know, like you shouldn't be following up with somebody an hour later. Like I saw you, I saw you ignoring my message. Like you can just tell me no. Like no, we're not doing that, right? Your job is to be confident when you're prospecting. Your job is to be yourself, you guys, first and foremost. I feel like that shouldn't even have to be said, but be yourself when you're prospecting. If there's one thing, people are gonna know when you're reading off of a script, which is why I don't really like giving scripts, but these were shared with me and I found a way to manipulate them to kind of be my own. Change things in your own language, and that's going to be super helpful for you, right? Be short, direct, and to the point. Your time is valuable and your prospect's time is valuable. People aren't going to be making a decision in 2 minutes, but people aren't going to be taking 2 years to make a decision. You kind of have to gauge and know when is the right time to be like, okay, this is something, because this is something I struggled with my first year in business, is like I was staying on the same people and I wasn't focused on adding new contacts into my network. And I'm like, okay, I have to make 5 connections a day. I have to make 10 connections a day. It's something that you build upon and making sure that you always have people coming through that funnel and that stream, right? So the goal that I have for you guys today, I'm going to be sending those 3 documents that I said. One is going to be a conversation flow chart. One is going to be follow-ups, and one is going to be objections, right? Because these are 3 different important parts of prospecting. But the goal and the IPA I have for you after this call is to send out 10 reach outs today to people in your network. I know it's kind of late. I think for the people tuning in from Puerto Rico, I'm going to give you guys a pass so you guys can do it tomorrow. And if you have to, ask for a redo. If you have a prospect who you totally word vomit like I did my first year in business, ask them for a redo. Just be like, you know, like I'm gonna use Melanie, like, hey Melanie, long time no talk. Like I totally botched the last time I spoke to you about the business, but I've been doing a lot of training. I've grown a lot since then. Would it be fine to have a redo or like a do-over? And I guarantee you that they're gonna laugh. And not only that, but they're gonna be like, totally, what's up? Like, talk to me. It's totally fine. Why? Because you guys relate to them, right? You show you're a real person and you admit that you were immature, you didn't know anything back then. You learn from your mistakes and you've been putting in the work to take your business seriously. So you have the chance to make that up with them. So those are the nuggets that I had for you guys today. And I hope you guys enjoy that. So stay tuned in the chat for the
Wait.
I
have a question. Okay, so how do you, like, when you prospect, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you like do the reach outs, like how do you organize yourself? So like how do you like put like on Instagram, or do you make a chart, or like, because the way I do it is that it's like I make the saved album on Instagram.
On
And
Instagram.
then that's how I put that's how I put like the VAP potentials and then the MP potentials. Or how do you organize yourself?
The way that I personally like to do it, so like I'm kind of like a neat freak. I like to use Excel sheets. So I have like a sheet where I put like their name, their handle, and then I can put like the day I reached out, if I scheduled like a call with them. But the reality is like most people I don't even schedule a call with. What I was doing, and I'm focusing more on reach outs now. The way I was getting my market partners was that they were coming to me. I was doing attraction marketing. But I don't want to say there's a problem with attraction marketing, but attraction marketing is kind of like you leave the ball on everybody else's court, right? You don't have the ball on your court. So for example, if you have a timeline of getting to director in 8 months, you're kind of like, oh, okay, it's up to everybody else and them reaching out to me. You're not in control necessarily, which is why I like reaching out, right? Now that I kind of changed my mindset about reach outs and they're not scary to me anymore. Now I can go ahead and be like, okay, I have to do this many a day because I know it's a numbers game, right? So there's 2 ways you can do it. I actually, I started kind of, I guess like this year so far, I've been doing it manually because I have them written in the amount of people I make connections with a day. This is a journal. This is the 90-day cycle new habits journal, but you can do this like in a notebook. 20 minutes to relationship building. Here are the names. This is the method. So I have all these people on IG Messenger, and the way that I make connections on IG is when somebody follows me, I send them a message. And it's, you guys, I'll give you the message right now. It's so simple. I say, I'm like, hi there, I'm Adri. Like, thank you so much for following me. No, hi there, I don't even say my name. I say, hi there, just wanted to tell you thank you for the follow. I hope you guys find yourself encouraged, laughing a lot, and inspired to be the best version of yourself. I put a heart and I put Adri, right? Some people don't answer me and some people do answer me. And that's how I started a new connection with my followers. And those people, I make sure that I engage with them, right? So I don't do that, the saved album message, because I save too much. I save content I want to remake, and I have like 5,000 things in there. So it's between the Excel sheet and manually. Is that helpful?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's because I was doing it. Because you can do albums, like you can do albums in your saved ones. So that's like what I was doing, but then I had to like, it got exhausting, like going back and like reading the whole conversation to then like know where we're at.
Yeah. So the way that I do it in the Excel sheet is that I put notes. So for example, like let's say I've had like I kind of like calls. I don't know if you guys do calls with some of your prospects, but I find it's easier. It's easier for me to close them if I can get them on a phone, right? So when they're telling me about their story, as long as it's not like a video call, I'm writing everything that they're saying. So if they're like, I hate my job, I'm so miserable, I'm like, she hates her job, she's so miserable. And I write what she does so that I don't have, because we talk to so many people a day that you're like, oh my God, yeah, one girl told me that she plays volleyball. One girl told me that she works after soccer practice, and you start to mix them up. You don't want to mix them up because the whole point is making your prospect feel special. So another tip, actually, Melanie, I don't know if you know about this, but there's an app called Profitable Prospecting. And I used to use that, but I lost all my stuff because I got a new phone. So that's why I kept everything. Yeah, that's why I keep everything on the Google Doc, because the Google Doc saves automatically and I can access it on all my devices, you know? Any other questions? Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. Well, if you guys have any other questions, you can just like put them in the chat. But yeah, thank you so much. Keep an eye out for the 3 documents on the chat, and then this is going to be, the recording is going to be on Discord. So thank you, everybody.